Game day has made its way to Columbus. Big game at the Horseshoe. Ohio State 13-0 so far under head coach Ryan Day. And with a win, Day will become the fourth head coach in major college football history to win his first 14 straight games. You look at the spread in this one, Buckeyes 19.5-point favorites, making it the second largest point spread in an AP top 10 matchup over the last 20 seasons. Only the Seminoles in 2013 were a larger favorite over Miami. They went on to win and cover. But remember, good teams win, great teams cover. And Ohio State 13-0 straight up, 10-3 against the number under head coach Ryan Day. Speaking the language of the Bear, good morning to College Game Day's Chris the Bear Fallica, co-host of the Stanford Steve and the Bear podcast. Normally we start with your best value, but listen, Chris, we have to talk about that number in Columbus. Why is Ohio State such a large favorite over a top 10 team?
It's because Ohio State's one of the highest power-rated teams in the country. To begin with, you have a team that leads the nation in scoring offense, leads the nation in scoring defense, leads the game in scoring margin, and you have some other factors at play as well with the injury to KJ Hamler and how he may or may not play. And you have to look at Penn State as well. This is a team that's been outgained for the last 5 times they've set foot on the field. So there are a lot of factors at play. Usually when Vegas posts a number this big in a top 10 matchup, the favorite is the right side. I think that's the case again today. I don't know how many points Penn State can really score today.
All right, so moving on, Bear, let's get to where we usually start the segment. What is your best value today?
Southern Miss is a team that's flown a little bit under the radar lately, but they have been absolutely annihilating people down in Hattiesburg. Their backfield is now healthy at running back. Their defense is playing great ball. They still have a chance to get to the Conference USA Championship game because of all the suspensions that are going on at Louisiana Tech. Western Kentucky pulled the upset at Arkansas a couple of weeks ago. I think that's factored into this number coming down a little bit, but my numbers make Southern Miss a much bigger favorite than this.
All right, what about a game to stay away from, Bear?
Minnesota Northwestern is screaming stay away. You have a team that kind of had their dreams crushed last week, losing their first game at home. Now you're going on the road. Your quarterback is probably not going to play in Tanner Morgan. You're going against a team that's had offensive trouble all year long. The last couple times you've gone to Evanston, Minnesota hasn't scored a point. Minnesota probably will win this game, but this seems like one of those games where it's way too many points to lay.
All right, what about an underdog to avoid, or maybe, as we call it, a dog with fleas, Bear?
I think it's Arizona State. I think they're the underdog that's attracting a majority of play and attention, and there could be some good case for that, being that the last 4 times that Oregon has gone down to the state of Arizona, they've lost 3 of those times outright. Arizona State has a history of pulling off upsets over top 10 teams as an unranked team. They match up well. They're a young team up and down. They have the potential to pull an upset. They did it already this year as a 2-touchdown dog against Michigan State. So I can see reasons why people will be on Arizona State tonight.
Yeah, and the Ducks have lost in the state of Arizona each of the last 2 years, whether it's the Wildcats or the Sun Devils. More from Chris Fallica coming up on College Game Day, 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. It's already on. She's already got the crown on.
I'm coming for you, Randolph, because the streak continues. So does my reign. So let's have cupcakes to celebrate, perhaps. Western Carolina has been allowing 36 points a game this season. They're going to allow north of their norm today against Alabama. Dear Mac Jones, I'm expecting big things from you. Dracarys. If we could just have like a dragon.
I mean, all right, sitting at 2 games above 500 personally, won a few in a row, NBD, but also KBD.
Don't have the crown.
I'm going Air Force, laying the points at New Mexico. I understand it's up to like 24. I got it at 21. Lobos, 14 season-ending injuries, not enough scout team running backs to practice against Air Force's option offense. I got the Falcons by more than the number here.
Yeah, you don't have the crown.
Hold on one moment. Now, you understand that Western Carolina, in their conference, allowing 36 points a game, you say that Alabama's going to score more than that? Is that what you're saying? Sturdy limb you put yourself out on. That's good. All right.
I've learned how to do this.
That's really good.
I just want the crown.
Still ahead, the good and bad behind Oregon quarterback Justin Herbert's cannon for an arm, what the Ducks QB will need to do more of today to beat Sparky.
And it did hit him in the hands. So I'm not sure what Peyton was expecting of Rocky. Wait, does Rocky have hands?
I was going to say, that is a good...
Are they...
That's a good point.
They paws?
Yeah. Well, you have cats. I don't have cats.
Paws?
How many cats do you have?
2.
That's too
They're
many.
lovely. Hey, look, we're off to a really good start today. My alarm didn't go off, so I was an hour late. No coffee, but everything's fine. Totally fine. It's been a week. Let's review it.
Sure.
Totally
Last
fine.
week, we talked about how eventful our weeks had been. If only we could all be as eventfully productive.
Please.
As Luka
Get it
Doncic, because
together.
when your week ends on a down note, quote unquote, because you didn't have a triple-double, that's a great week. Luka started with a 42-point trip-double over the Spurs, then 35-point triple-double in a win over the Warriors, then the down note, quote, I'm doing air quotes and I'm off camera, 30 points, no triple-double in a win over the Cavaliers.
Look, I think we're all still getting used to seeing Dwight Howard. Well, I mean, like that, and the fact that he's just back in LA. So if you're not used to that, you're also not used to LeBron sitting on the bench. I get why the high five was missed. I get it. It's all just good. I'll high five myself. Let's be honest, it's deserved. Self high five or
Please
friend high five.
stop
Are you gonna
doing
leave me
that.
hanging?
Oh, yeah,
Thank
we're off
you.
camera. I didn't- okay, fine.
The triple-double king is now LeBron, because follow me on this, because LeBron had one against the Thunder on Tuesday, which means he's the first player in NBA history with a triple-double against every team in the league. And I'm just gonna hit this.
Your hands are freezing. So is Ben Simmons, at least the three-point shooting hand. He did make his first three-pointer of his career in the NBA this week. That's the new half glass or full glass, half full, because either he's finding his stroke or it shouldn't have taken him 193 games as a professional basketball player to make one. Either way, last time he made a three in an actual game, LSU, more than 1,400 days ago.
Wow. Okay, so if you want to get a look at the likely #1 overall pick in the 2020 draft, you're going to have to wait until January the 12th, because that's when James Wiseman can return following his 12-game suspension. It's a two-part thing. His mother took money from now Memphis head coach Penny Hardaway back in 2017 to help relocate her family from Nashville to Memphis. And Wiseman also played 3 games while ineligible this season. Say that fast. Ineligible.
Continuing with the serious, Myles Garrett remains indefinitely suspended for clubbing Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph in the head with his own helmet. It was Thursday Night Football Week 11. But he did explain himself to the NFL in his appeal hearing. ESPN's Adam Schefter and Josina Anderson reporting this week. The Browns defensive end says Rudolph called him a racial slur before the brawl began. It's an allegation the NFL found no evidence to support, and one Rudolph says he vehemently denies.
We need to lighten the mood
Yes,
around here, so
please.
it's time for our fill-in-the-blanks of the week, the superlatives, if you will.
Do you remember senior superlatives?
Yeah, like that cutest couple, class clown. Why
Are those
named
still,
you class clown last
Are those still a thing? Did you get one?
week? No, I think it was something to do with hair.
Was it best hair? Was it crimpiest, scrunchiest hair? That was best all around.
Disaster.
No big deal. Because
Best
of the,
all around?
The dunk of the week
You
came. You think
lie.
I would introduce the topic without having the ace? There is Kawhi Leonard dunk of the week on Daniel Tice. Clippers over the Celts, overtime Wednesday. A win that he also sealed with a block on Kemba Walker, a performance he explained
Most
as
likely
only
to be president.
he can.
Why, can you take us through the dunk you had in the block?
What do you want me to say?
Whatever you want to say. It's just more of just the build-up leading into that play, what you were seeing, and your thought process with everything.
Patrick threw me the ball. I took 2 dribbles to the paint and tried to jump high and dunk the basketball.
There it is. That's it.
Golf clap that.
Tuesday night might be a slow night in Vegas if there is such a thing, but Marc-Andre Fleury brought the razzmatazz here. I mean, out of position, shot against Toronto, diving back across the goal. Whew, Fleury, 31 saves in the game, but he said that one, he said, quote, one of the saves I love to play for.
Yeah, but is that the save of the week, or is this the save of the week? We had it in 2 parts this week. Bruins beat the Sabres because Tuukka Rask stopped 36 shots. This one, diving blocker save, you're wearing a human. There's no stick involved. He said, I don't think I've ever made a save like that. It could be the save of the year. I will give you this. It was at least one of the best saves of the last 7 days. Dance of the week. Rob Gronkowski, Venus Williams, and James Corden moonlighting as Laker girls. As someone on our show pointed out, Gronk is surprisingly flexible.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Okay.
Make no mistake.
Okay.
There was a tremendous amount of effort and buy-in to make this great for everyone, and our eyes are better for it.
So good. Hey, we go back to Sunday in Indy for one of the best celebrations that don't count. Quentin Nelson, 6'5", 330, scored a rushing touchdown. So he does the keg stand celebration with his offensive line teammates. Problem was, further review, down before the goal line, so the touchdown
NFL,
didn't
such a
count.
bummer.
Buzz Killington,
Rules.
but the celebration remains.
Best buzzer beater that also didn't count. This was Wednesday. Old Dominion shot against James Madison. Ball goes in, except you have to get the ball out of your hands before zeros. It's a little technicality, and it just didn't happen. The problem is this took forever to review, so the celebration lasted forever.
Our feels of the week. Rangers, Wednesday night in New York. 10-year-old Luke thinks that he's getting some gear from his favorite team. He got much more than that. Dad's home. Staff Sergeant Ian Buck surprising his son after his deployment to Afghanistan. And if one of the tougher people on this planet is allowed to cry, I think you are too. Rangers won the game in a storyline that absolutely does not matter.
No.
What matters is Dad's home.
Wait, you're not the toughest people on the planet. It was
No.
the dad that we just showed. I just went, because I saw an interview with that dad last night, and he was like, well, I didn't cry, but this guy did all the crying. And I was like, really? You didn't cry? You hadn't seen your kid in a year?
I think he probably
Liar.
teared up a little bit. Oh, you're allowed to cry at stuff like that. That's your
Yes.
weekend review.